Hello, DTLC family, and welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting DTLC session. We hope you've had a productive week and that you've been putting into practice all the lessons we've been learning together so far. And congratulations for choosing to spend the next couple of minutes investing in something that no one can ever take away from you, and that is your health. Lasting change doesn't happen because of one big decision. It happens because of many small decisions made consistently. So thank you so much for making DTLC part of your journey. We hope you leave today's session feeling encouraged, equipped, and inspired to continue with your journey. Did you know research has shown that even a single session of physical activity can make your muscles more sensitive to insulin for up to 24 hours and even more? That means your body is better able to use glucose after exercise, even if you don't lose weight. In other words, physical activity is like a natural medicine that continues working long after you've finished exercising. And this is one reason why regular movement is so powerful in diabetes management. We have another exciting program lined up for you this evening. We are delighted to welcome a special guest speaker, Mr. William Deche and team. And of course, we are also joined by our regular expert panel. Dr. Ojwang is here with us, and Ms. Jalang'o also joining us. Our session this evening will begin with a review of how some of us are progressing with their health numbers, particularly blood glucose and blood pressure readings. We will then have a brief recap of last week's topic on planning ideal meals and grocery shopping, as well as our plates of the week, followed by a psychosocial evaluation. Stay tuned for that. Then after that, we'll move to tonight's main topics, your relationship with food and physical activity. These two topics are closely connected. The way we think about food influences what we eat, while physical activity complements healthy eating by improving your blood sugar, heart health, strength, mood, and overall well-being. To start us off this evening, we are going to listen to a powerful testimonial from one of our former DTLC participants. As you listen, we hope you will be encouraged and reminded that positive change is possible. So sit back, be inspired, enjoy this testimony. And once again, welcome to DTLC Season 13, Week 7. Enjoy watching.
Is a true testament to life transformation because he successfully put his diabetes and high cholesterol into remission in just 2 months of the program. So it would be interesting to find out, how did this happen? Talk to us and tell us, how did the DTLC program impact on your diabetes?
Thank you very much for giving me the chance. Mine, it's a journey, and very grateful to season 7. Why? Because it just came in as we were told by our insurance that they can be able to pay for us, and I was quick to come on board because of being diabetic. One is that I've been diabetic for 4 years. 4 years now. Was 119 kgs. I had issues with prostate, and my magoti required shida.
Yes.
Shida really to stand and walk. I was told because I was going to MP Shy, I was told it's about the weight. Since I joined this program last year, I'd gone through a lot of changes in myself. But the most important one, which now this is on 7 reinforced, is the mindset change. I come from a background of being a very senior government officer, and that also impacted negatively on my level of interaction. But when I changed my mindset, when I focused, then I could see changes in me. And changes were the nutrition aspect. You guys did me very proud. And the most important part was the mindset and the portions in my food. It was a bit difficult to understand why I should take vegetables at night and sleep. It took me time. In the team here, people posting different portions, and that also encouraged me to go that far. And for sure, in August last year, when I did my tests, and I did post them in the group, season 7,
Yeah.
My doctor actually reduced my morning medicine into a half. I used to take 1,000, it reduced into a half. Then in December, they removed that half for the morning.
Mhm.
And then in 2 weeks after 28th of December, they told me they need to confirm that I'm progressing well. And indeed, after the 2 weeks, I again went back and did the tests. They discussed and they told me, we are removing you from all the medicine for diabetes, but we'd like you to continue and even scale up what you are doing currently: exercise, nutrition, and most important, sleep. I sleep well. I'm 63 years old. And I want to look 20 years old. I am grateful, very, very grateful with the team, and especially the doctors in the team. Thank you very much.
Yes. So there we go, the testimonial of the week. I hope that it has reminded each one of you in this DTLC journey that everybody can be able to get there. Are you looking for remission? It is possible. To reduce your medication, it is possible. So the encouraging truth is that every person who has experienced success started exactly where you are today, with a decision to begin and then the determination to keep going. So one of the best ways to know whether those healthy choices are making a difference is by measuring your progress. As we often say here at DTLC, what gets measured gets managed. Our numbers tell a story. They help us identify challenges early in advance and make informed decisions about our health. So it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Jalang'o, our diabetes care specialist, to take us through this week's review of our blood sugar and hypertension numbers. Ms. Atieno, thank you for being here with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Lydia. Good evening, everyone. Glad to be still on it. DTLC 13, week 7. It's flying so fast, I can't even believe it. So today, we will start with a review of the monitoring. Once again, I would like to encourage everyone to do the monitoring and share results with us. And this evening, I am grateful to Catherine and Dr. Ojwang for sharing their blood glucose testing, and Dr. also did some of his blood pressure testing. So that's really, really awesome. I'm excited to share with you, and let's see what we learn from this. So I share my screen. Okay. I believe you can all see my screen now. Let's
Yes,
start
we can.
first with the blood pressure. Oh dear, I don't know why the blood pressure is not showing the colors. Oh dear. Anyway, The high ones, no, not all of it. This will not give us a good view, though we can see from here. So you can see from the beginning, earlier on in June, the blood pressure there raised, 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 then a big gap of good, then raised, raised, and then as we go down, you see what is happening. Something is happening. The raised blood sugars are getting less and less. This one is raised, but I don't think it is not. It's written raised. This is actually good. It's within the the parameter 130/80. So it's not a bad sugar. So you can see as we are going down the program, they are less, and especially from the 27th of June going onward, there's only one raised sugar, and it's also not very high from the normal. I mean, from the upper range, which should be around 120/80. Okay? So this is 118/88. The lower end is a bit raised, okay? So there has been a good progress when you look from up going down. So I can say very definitely that Alwanga is doing something good. Something is happening. And that is why we are going to see the changes. And when we come to the blood sugar, is even more evident. I would like us to just write in the chat, what do we see when we look at column 3? You see the high for red, yellow for raised, and then green is within the normal range. So just look as we go down what's happening. Can somebody just write? Anyone just write in the chat. What do you see as the program is progressing? How are these sugars behaving? Are they getting better or no? Just put in the chat. Okay. So from there, and as we go down, you see less. Okay. So as we go down from here, you cannot see any more red. It's just browns. And then as we go further down, the browns start becoming scarce. Okay. And maybe a fasting here 6.4, 6.8, which is not very far off the mark. So that's slightly raised. And then you look at the food, probably this dinner had an impact, groundnuts, a piece of chocolate, some sugar, oil in the groundnuts, a bit of protein. And then I don't know what jamun, I don't know that this is the Indian sweets. Jamuns. Is this gulab jamun or? Doc, are you here? You could explain to us what is jamuns? Lydia, just check if it's in. Okay.
No, I'm trying to think what jamuns is.
Yeah, I'm thinking the only thing I know that is jamun is there's an Indian dessert called jamun, gulab jamun.
Maybe.
So maybe or the fruit, the jamna. Huh?
Oh,
Jamna, the black little fruit that looks like a bullet, like a
yeah.
small bullet. Yeah, so that
One
could
of
have
them.
been a factor there, the chocolate bringing in some sugar and also the jamuns, then that rise. And you can see it's not very badly off from the level where we want it. At usually your fasting should not go above 5.6. So 3.5 to about 5 would be it, okay? And the same. So we see now maybe just the fastings that are a bit of an issue. So the other thing we would look at because of these high fastings is what is the meal at night? And then the other thing, what time does he sleep? Is he stressed at night? Is he working at night? Because we know as a medic, probably he's working at night. So that could also be a problem. Okay. But otherwise, what I would say overall, this is very, very good progress as we move on, as we are advancing in in the program. As the sessions are getting more, we are seeing very good progression. And even if you look at the meals, you see some very, very good choices. So it does pay off when you make these lifestyle changes, okay? So I'll stop here and go to the next one. Stop the share. I'll stop here and go to the next one. Let me just share my screen again. So the next one is from Kathy. Thanks, Kathy, for always sharing your blood sugar. It's very encouraging. Kathy, as we mentioned last week, was in another session, and she has come back and still very, very interactive. So we really like so Kathy sugars. So can you see that? It's only 2 fastings from the 21st of July to the 25th of July, just the fastings that are high. Then when we look, maybe the issue with the maize and the beans, so maybe the quantity. The other thing that can be done here is probably change that from cabbage to something a bit more fibrous. Then here again, probably this was a fasting again. So the meal before that 23rd, the sweet potatoes could have played a role here. So always when you get a high sugar, you look back. It often does, it often is impacted by the previous meal. So if 3 hours after lunch, then you look, what did I eat for lunch? If it is high in the morning, you look, what did I have for supper? How did I sleep? What time did I sleep? Because all that impacts your sugar. Anything that is a stressor to the body will definitely impact your blood glucose. So Catherine is also doing very, very well. In fact, none of the sugars is above 10, though I would also want to comment about this one. 1 hour after lunch at 9.2. This is not at 2 hours. So there's a chance this will definitely go over 10, but this 9.2 can, because it has not reached the maximum time when the sugar should be gets highest. That's 2 hours after meal. Okay, and that could be related to the sweet potatoes as well. Otherwise, both Catherine and Alwanga are really doing very well, very good progress. Catherine, thank you for keeping steady. And thank you to you all for sharing your blood glucose. And we encourage each and every one of you, please, to share the blood glucose. Whatever change you're making in terms of your lifestyle, the only place we will see the change is here. The numbers tell a story, apart from obviously the physical changes that you will have, but these numbers are very, very important. If you keep them close to the parameters of good control, your chances of getting a diabetes-related complication is therefore reduced. So you know your numbers to be able to take action for good quality of life with diabetes. So back to you, Lydia.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Atieno, for that excellent review of our blood sugar, our blood glucose and blood pressure numbers. As always, you've reminded us that our numbers are more than just figures. They are valuable, valuable indicators. So to everyone who has made improvement this week, congratulations to you. Keep up the very good work. So last week, we explored the topic planning ideal meals and grocery shopping. And then afterwards, we started posting our meals according to the knowledge that we gained. In that session, we came out with key insights that Dr. Alice Ojwang will help us to review this evening. So Alice, welcome, and over to you.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm ready for fitness, but we have a packed day. I'm not sure how we are going to do this, but yeah, let's go. So now we just want to look at your foods. I'm going to talk very little. So let's look at the food. Remember, every week we are evaluating. What are you eating? What are you posting? All right. And we are very grateful because you're always posting. We cannot learn without these meals. So we really, really appreciate the post. So let's just look at what you posted this week and let's see how that is going. And even you, please, I'd like you to comment today. So the dietitians will comment, but I'd like you to also comment. I'm just going to share the slides. This is week 6. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is week 6. So allow that I have created some. I've highlighted some. So I guess one of the things, what we dietitians are not doing is to ask questions when you post, because we need to be observing, so we ask questions. So when I highlight, it just means that, okay, we are questioning the portions, but what was it? Was it all carbohydrates, or these lower ones were vegetables? So this person is still eating so many pieces of carbohydrates. And what is this? I'm not sure what this is, but surely after all the learning we have done, are we still can eat so many mandazis in one meal without vegetables after all the learning? You just had one of the gentlemen who was in season 7, a senior person, 63 years old. Now he's 65 because season 7 was 2 years ago. Okay. And one of the things he said that really helped him was mindset. He did not understand why he needed to eat vegetables, but eventually he did. And you can see they removed his medication for diabetes, his medication for cholesterol. He said he had knee problems, everything is fine. So if we don't change our mindset and we are still continuing to eat like this, then that is not good for us, okay? So please, why don't you try? At least always try to eat some vegetables. Because you're also evaluating your food as an individual. So if we look at one individual, maybe next time we can pick some good people who are doing well and people who still need learning, and then let's just learn. So literally we can't have this. Okay, so I highlighted this, but it's not bad because this was the carbohydrate choice for this meal. Okay, so that's okay. But one of the things I want us to do from now on, because we have learned so much, I want us to stop eating certain things. I want us to stop eating cabbages, okay? We need to confiscate cabbages, and we need to confiscate ugali and bread. Let's stop eating all those things. Let us be creative. Let's eat some other carbohydrates. What do you think about that? Yeah, so you see people, I think generally everything is good. The reason I mark this is the portion. It could have been a male portion, but if you increase the vegetables, you can still have a smaller portion of this. And also, so what did you eat here? This is cake. Looks like a lot of cake, okay? So we have these meals here, 20th July, and only 20th July, only 3 people posted. That means we need to post more. Sometimes I know we forget. So you can see, generally people are eating very well. Here here in this plate, oh, sorry, where did I go? Did I jump something? There we go. In this plate, we still have double carbohydrates. You see, we have a fruit and rice, but you can see the rice portion is not so much, even though, yeah, we still need to see more vegetables. We were just talking today with the team, and we are thinking maybe we need to talk about calorie intake, because this is a large portion. And this is because we're having 2 plates or 2 containers of food. This is a large portion. So you want to start thinking, do you actually really need this? Are you emotionally hungry or are you physically hungry? Okay? Yes. So very good portions. You can see this, Yeah. Okay? And sometimes we think carbohydrate, avocado is not a vegetable, eh? Avocado is a fat. So sometimes people just eat an avocado and avocado. So this meal could actually do with more vegetables. Yes. All right. Soupy meal. I don't know that this is drinking chocolate, but we also said we don't want to see you taking food with tea. This is because tea, caffeine, reduces absorption of certain nutrients, like even iron, for example. Okay. Yeah. You see, super meals, cherry tomatoes and some grapes, little grapes. Okay. Or is it blueberries? Yeah. Yeah. This is a small portion, but you can see everybody's trying. Okay. Here we can see double carbohydrates. So try very much to apply what you learn. Okay, so when we eat like this, we didn't ask the question, we should have asked. Okay, so is this occasional or is this something you do every day, right? This was a soup. Where's your vegetables? Okay, so this, it's not carb, it's carb, but it's probably not carbohydrate, but also my fault because I didn't ask when it was posted that what is this. So when we post, let's try to have more. But generally, it's a good picture. Raw vegetables and things, and you can see. So some of them, we still want to also plate our food better, plate it better. So this is also a large portion you can see. 2 meals. Okay, so what do the dietitians have to say? What do the dietitians have to say?
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
So we've really stepped up compared to the previous weeks. We can see more green, colorful plates with vegetables. Now, just the way Dr. Alice has said, I see majority of you eating a lot of cabbages and carrots. So on top of the list she has also included, I'd like to include tea and any other cup that is always beside your plate that is not water. And also the water, have it 1 hour or 2 hours after your meal. So another challenge on top of that, the food that Dr. Alice has added, no teas with your meals, no milks, no, just have a plate on its own. If you really want to have the teas, have them a bit later after your meals or extremely prior before your meals. Yeah, good job on that.
Mm-hmm. And thank you very much, and Emali. And Immaculate, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, thank you so much, Nemali, for the compliment and then for the addition. Still to add on that, I really would like to appreciate us all for the far that we have come. Yeah, the plates have really greatly improved. The vegetables have really improved. You can see the portions are really improving. I believe by the end of this season, we shall have more people be remitted from diabetes. And I think on to whatsoever we have said, we should look at balancing, serving. I think that servings are still a need that most of us will have to keep on improving. I believe it's a work in progress, yeah? And it will all be okay by the end of these sessions as we are moving. If you see someone posting, maybe like the beans we are seeing, the portion, you can't tell whether it was half serving beans, then half serving cabbages. So I think that the serving portions are still a work in progress. And I know that the team we are moving with are really a very determined team, and we are really going to overcome this, and our numbers are going to greatly improve. Yeah, I think that is all.
Okay, thank you very much. And to the participants who've been posting all these foods, what comments do you have? Is there anything on the chat? What can you say about your food? And how are you doing in terms of that? How are you feeling about it? Mm-hmm. We're talking about your food. What do you have to say? What are your struggles, and what would you comment about all these portions that you're posting? We'd really appreciate at least A comment or two. Yes.
Maybe they are too scared to comment, but generally they are very much better than what it was when we started. And the more we say it, likely they are going to improve towards the end of the program.
Yeah, there is been a marked improvement and just a little. Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so if you don't have any question in relation to that, yeah. Yeah, somebody has put a message here. Is there anybody? Oh, that was Jamun, also known as Indian blackberry or Java plum, is a tropical fruit. Okay, very good.
Hello.
Yes, yes, please.
It's Catherine. I joined in a little later last time. Good evening, members.
Good evening.
Yeah, I found nutritionist Award Immaculate saying thank you to me. I'm Catherine from Uganda, but I found her saying thank you. I don't know about what. But I was asking because I had some people saying that there is some specific food types supposed to be eaten by a certain blood group. Yeah.
What? Just finish your question. I'm waiting for you to finish, then we can respond to you.
Okay. So I wanted you to, if you can manage, maybe you tell us about the type of food for a specific blood group, because me, I'm A B plus. I don't know. So maybe I needed your intervention. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. So what I do as a dietitian is I discuss the basics, okay? So the basics is what we've been discussing from week 1 to 7. When we get to week 8 and 9, we can discuss things like that: intermittent fasting, being a vegetarian, blood group diet. But before that, are you doing the basics? All right. And things like blood group diet, they just work for things like allergies and things like that. But also we know that by the time you start eating healthy and doing the basics, you really are not even having allergies or things like that. So we're not able to answer that question now. It's going to be in the last week, 11 or 12, when we can answer that. For now, we want to apply what we've learned, and then we want specific questions relations to the topic that we are discussing so that you can understand and then you can apply. Yeah. Okay. Somebody asked here, I wish you could change your name so we know. Okay. Please do comment. Oh, so that's Rosemary. Please do comment on maize and bean mixture. Yeah, so maize and bean mixture, have we seen it here? No. Okay. So it's okay because now you have 2 carbohydrates. So you can actually serve it like the way somebody has served beans here. You can have half of your plate maize and beans, and then half of your plate vegetables. For people who culturally eat that, there's no way you're going to tell them to eat a quarter. It's not going to work. But it's also best to eat it first thing in the morning, because then then at that time you're supposed to eat more energy. So then you can enjoy your maize and beans. In Kenya, we call it githeri, or in Luo nyoyo. And part of my shopping list for this week is actually, that is going to be part of my meal for this week. Maize and beans, already boiled and ready, with some beans and some groundnuts. I love groundnuts. You may have noticed that. Thank you. That's a good question. I hope I've answered you. So you want to enjoy your maize and beans? Please have half beans, maize and beans mix, and then half your vegetables. Yes. And then if you have it in the evening, then it will be quarter, and most of your plate should be vegetables. So remember, more in the morning, less in the evening. Yes. I hope I've answered your question. Feel free to also voice it. The next question is Itel A65. I wish you could put your name, but yeah. I feel hungry for the better part of the morning, and I'm so tempted to keep eating. What can I do? Why do you feel hungry in the better part of the morning? What do you have for breakfast? If you can answer that, that can help us, because this is what we've recommended. Breakfast is the main meal of the day. So you need to eat more food in the morning. And if you eat animal protein in your food and you eat animal protein in the morning, it's going to take you for 6 to 7 hours. So you're not going to be hungry until 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon if you ate at 8. So if you're feeling hungry better part of the morning, it means you're not eating something with sufficient energy. You're eating little. You're actually not supposed to feel hungry. You're supposed to feel hungry at the right time. You're supposed to feel hungry at maybe 12 or 1 o'clock so you can have your lunch. Feel hungry at 6 so you can have your dinner. But if you're feeling hungry in between, it means you're eating very little or you're not eating the right portion of food. Yeah. So what would be good is also go back to, so what are you eating and how are you eating? Okay. Yeah. So somebody you've been responded to there. Okay. Yeah. All right. So no question. Is eating fruit salad in the evening okay? But how much? Yes, you can eat a fruit. I always sometimes just eat fruit and nuts. But one of the things I have found is when it is cold, like right now it's cold in Kenya, it's a cold season. When it is a cold season, I actually hardly eat fruit. I have to remind myself to eat fruit, you know. So, but I would definitely eat fruit, a fruit salad, and not a lot. Remember, you are allowed a certain amount of portions. You can have it with a few pieces of nuts, and that's a full meal. So yeah, it's good. It's okay to eat it in the evening. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So Lydia, can I go on to the next?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for grocery shopping, how did that go? Have you bought different meals for this week? Surely, I would really like if you could comment. If I could just hear your voice. Somebody sent their shopping list, which was, of course, definitely always makes me happy. Lydia, do you have it ready? Would you like to share it? Because I have to retrieve it. Sorry, I didn't retrieve that. Okay.
In a minute.
But so if you change your grocery, then it means this week we should see different types of foods and different types of chassis. One of the things I've already recommended, please, what are we confiscating actually? I need to write it down. Lydia, can you type it there as we go? What did you say we are confiscating? Cabbages, yeah? Bread, okay? So just eliminate today, this week, next week, eliminate cabbages, eliminate bread and ugali. Okay, Nemali added carrots. Okay, so Nemali, can you write there what you're confiscating this week so that we be creative? So we have one of our participants actually, she wrote a grocery list. Okay, these are the meals taken. So she's been taking this, and then how did she assess her meal? Okay, so she assessed and she realized that animal protein, she eats little, dairy, she eats about a cup, nuts and seeds, very little, and also fats and sweet little. So it's okay to eat little fats and sweets. It's even okay to eat very little animal protein. But she was eating enough vegetables, nuts not enough, but she was drinking sufficient water, which means she was meeting her intake, yeah? But protein, she wrote here a little protein and then she wrote enough. So not sure, but enough is fine. When you eat a little protein in a week, it's not a problem. So you should not always struggle to make sure that I have meat, like you don't have a budget and you're wanting to eat this, okay? Yeah. Carry on. So then, too fast. Next page, please. Yeah, so here, did I make healthier choices in all the foods? She said, not really, okay? So how did she grade herself? Fair. But it's because we are all a work in progress, so that's fine. Okay, then the other question is be specific. What do I need to improve? She said, I want to improve on variety, especially raw vegetables. All right, so very specific. So what was her shopping list? Okay, so here is, do I eat a variety of foods from all food groups? So then she was supposed to list down, at least you need to eat variety from each food group. So she's listed down what she's going to get, okay? So she has a shopping list week 1, and she has a shopping list week 2 that she's going to apply. So I think we need to give her a clap because she is really, and this is not a dietitian. We have nutritionists in this team. This is just one of the participants. So thank you for sharing. And we are happy that you could share. And you can see it's very easy. 3 things, 3 starches, 3 vegetables, okay? And you know, if you have a list of carbohydrates like starches, then you have a list of legumes, then it means you're buying a lot of food. So it's better to have one column that has your legumes and starches, okay? So now I want to show you what I'm going to eat this week. But maybe, okay, so my vegetables for this week is broccoli. So these are my broccoli. This breakfast, I shared my broccoli. So I bought some broccoli. And then even though when it's cold, I don't eat salads as much, but I'm gonna eat some lettuce this week. And so that's vegetable. So we have broccoli. I have butternuts. Okay, looks like a lot of food though. Then I have cherry tomatoes. I have some avocado. I have maize and beans for my carbs, and also beans. These are butternut beans. Usually I just boil and put in the freezer. Then I'm going to have some sugar snaps, and mixed vegetables, all right? So I actually have a lot of vegetables. I have grapes as fruit, so you'll see them in my diet. And I have potatoes as well. It seems a lot. But like I said, I don't have any meat or anything we have in the fridge from last week. But I have 2 friends here who are vegetarian because I've put them on a vegetarian diet because they are working on their immune system, autoimmune condition, cancer. So I'm supporting them. So I'm eating vegetarian. So once in a while, I'll probably put in a piece of fish, but mostly I'm going to eat vegetarian. Okay, so that is my shopping list. I can take a picture and put there. So what was your shopping list this week? So it's very important for us to eat a variety. Most of the time people start to eat a variety when they are sick. You know, that's when you start eating more vegetables. But you want to be in the habit of eating a variety of foods. And this is why we are confiscating. I didn't say cakes, Nemali, so let people have their cake occasionally. I said cabbages, carrots, ugali, and bread, and tea with meals. So please correct that chart, edit, okay? So please, I don't want to see ugali. Let's be creative. And I don't want to see bread, and I don't want to see cabbages and carrots. So let's be creative. So yeah, this week, if you see this meal, I have just a little carrot in it. But yeah, I'm not eating carrots this week, even though I have carrot soup left over from last week. Yeah, but carrots. I think you understand what I'm saying. So thank you so much, Lydia, and I give it back to you.
Well, thank you too, Dr. Ojwang and the nutritionist, Nemali and Immaculate, for sharing your expertise and for continually equipping us with practical knowledge to improve our health. Well, I hope everyone has been reminded that healthy eating doesn't have to be complicated or even expensive. With a little planning, a well-prepared grocery list, and simple meal ideas, we can enjoy a wide variety of nutritious meals while staying within the budget. Thank you so much. Well, our next session is on a psychosocial evaluation. And I'm pleased to invite Mr. William Deche from Restore and Renew, together with team, to take us through this important topic. William, thank you for joining us today together with your team. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much, Lydia. I am greatly honored to be back. And I'm honored to be here to talk about psychosocial evaluation. With me, I have my team. I brought one of my members. Her name is Naomi Ongaga, and she's a psychologist also. And she will be working with us through today's session, both of us. Now, I want us to get to have a better understanding on what psychosocial evaluation is and why it is important. While psychosocial evaluation matters because you're looking beyond the symptoms of a problem, and this problem is stress. Stress is not simply understood as a general thing. There are specific factors that define what stress is, and that is your mind, your body, your environment. It's your response to all of the following. Now, it's basically a body response to internal or external demands that challenge your ability to cope. Now, there are a few types of stress that we need to get to understand before we dig even deeper, because this evaluation that you will be taking is not simply going to give you an answer. It's going to give you a better understanding of the self and your reaction to things around you. So basically, there are three types of stress. We have stress number one, the acute stress, which is the short-term challenges that are there. And then we have the episodic acute, which is the short-term stress that is often there. And then we have the chronic stress, which is persistent over months and years. Now, fun fact, acute stress has a tendency of also being, in some situations, positive stress, because it pushes you to work on a certain factor with certain motivation. Episodic acute is when now you're not able to find a better coping for the acute. And then the chronic is when now we begin to have a very big problem. Because when you're undergoing through chronic stress, that's a blank indication that you are slowly leaning to the unhealthy aspect of who you are, and basically these situations and your coping process that is there. Now, examples of this can be work demands, financial difficulties, family responsibilities, health conditions, loss and grief, and even relationships based conflicts. So if we are not able to cope with these certain situations, we are going to have a bigger problem. Now, that's going to lead us to ask a question on why should we even evaluate stress? Because many people only have a tendency of seeking help when stress has already hit or affected their health. So the whole significance of evaluation is to help you identify the problem from an early stage. So you first identify what is stressing, understand how this stress affects your daily function, detect burnout, depression, or even anxiety, and develop your own personalized intervention. I really am honored to be part of the program because I tend to say that it gives you a DIY type of solution. Do it yourself. So with evaluation of stress, you get to have a better understanding on how you can DIY the interventions for your healthy seeking. So that's going to match the themes that are there. It also has the benefit of preventing chronic illness that is there because you're sorting the issue out before it becomes a bigger problem. Another fun fact, did you know chronic stress can have the tendency of becoming a disorder if not resolved earlier? And that's not something we are able to talk about because we do feel like we need to focus on a certain perspective of resilience where you push on beyond your own capability. And that's where the stress comes in and you insist on it and then it builds up and then we have the possibilities of a disorder coming in. So once we understand, then we know how to work through the whole process. So there are different ways stress can manifest itself. First of all, through the body, and second of all, through the emotion. The body can be from the perspective of having poor sleep. Number one, if you're stressed, you won't have sleep. And vice versa. If you don't have enough sleep, you're going to be stressed. Frequent headaches, you're going to constantly have a banging pain on your head. Fatigue, high blood pressure, digestive problems, emotional, you're going to be really irritable, feel overwhelmed, and you're going to have mood swings. Especially I'd want to focus on the mental part where concentration becomes very poor. You easily forget, and then you have racing thoughts. So basically, you're not grounded to the situation. You're very far, and it becomes a problem on how we process things. Now, one would say or would ask, so, okay, there's stress evaluation, and then there's food. So how do these come together? How do these even connect? They connect because, number one, with people who are stressed, you go on and eat sugary foods, fried foods. You try to cope with the stress from a whole unhealthy perspective. And that is why we are doing this evaluation. When we do this evaluation, we guide you through on better ways to cope. Not that we are naive as human beings, but because it's only instinctual for us whenever we are in a very uncertain situation or stressful situation, we look for the closest way out. So I'm really hoping with this information that we will be able to go through the evaluation that is there. Please take to note that there's 50% for the evaluation that will be paid for you. So you just come in. There's a link that would be there. Do your evaluation, come have a chat with us, and we'll help you understand your whole aspect of stress. Stress is not simply meant for us to avoid and run away from. It's meant for us to get to understand. With a factor of understanding, then we have a high possibility of progressing past the stress. So we don't blatantly just run off. We understand first. Because when you run, you haven't sorted out the issue. You've left it there. And then what happens? It will come after you, and it becomes a bigger problem as time progresses. So feel free to fill in the evaluation that will be there, get to understand yourself, because it's an evaluation that focuses on self-discovery. And I'm quite sure you guys will love the questions of the evaluation, because it's digging very deep into the realities of specifically how family and how our surroundings are greatly connected whenever we consider stress and the processes of stress by itself. So I think that's it from me. If you have any questions, I will leave our contacts right there on the chat, and call in and get to understand. Mental health is not simply about the intensity, the severity of a disorder. Mental health is just being okay with yourself, ensuring that you're taking care of your mind, ensuring that you understand the ceiling of your capability, especially when we talk about your progress in your day-to-day activities. It's not about the schizophrenia alone. It's all about also coping with burnout and coping with stress and coping with heartbreak. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, William, for that introduction. And I call it an introduction because William and team will be back in week 10, and they will tackle the topic stress management. So as William mentioned, we'll be sharing the psychosocial evaluation form in the WhatsApp group this week. So it's going to be digital. All you need to do is fill it in, and it goes straight to restore and renew. So please take a few minutes to complete it. And for sure, your responses will actually help the team at Restore and Renew to identify the key areas for discussion when we meet again in week 10. So please be on the lookout for this form in the group this week. Thank you once again, William and team, for coming to introduce us to that evaluation. We look forward to meeting you in the coming weeks. Thank you. So now we do move on to our first main topic for this evening, your relationship with food. So we normally focus on what we are eating, how much we are eating, but there's another question that is just as important. What is my relationship with food? So to take us through this important and thought-provoking topic, it's my pleasure to invite back here our lead dietitian, Dr. Ojwang. Welcome, Dr. Ojwang. Sorry, you're muted.
Thank you very much. I just wanted Dr. Jalang'o to emphasize on why evaluating your stress is important, just to add on to what William and team have said. I would really appreciate that, Dr. Jalang'o.
Yeah. Thank you very much, William, and thank you, Alice. Stress is extremely important to learn because at the extreme ends is the anxiety that eventually results, or you get depressed. When you are at the extreme ends of emotions, then what happens is it affects your processing unit. That's your brain, you see? And once the central processing unit is defective, then you cannot handle self-care because you will not be able to make decisions that are able to benefit you in terms of self-care and self-management of your condition. And then what happens is then you get out of control. And in the long term, this simply translates to complications. So stress influences your brain, And when it influences your brain, your choices, and therefore the results of self-care are often not good. So stress needs to be dealt with, not put under the rug, not run away from. You need to face it and manage it appropriately. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah, and that's very, very interesting because we could have all the knowledge that we have right now, our portions, our carbohydrate intelligence, but at the back of it all, if we have some stressful situation on our shoulders, then this might not work. So like Dr. Jalang'o says, we really need to deal with stress. And that's why we've prepared a whole topic, week 10, DTLC, stress management. It is coming. Please prepare your questions, prepare your observations. Dr. William Deche with team. Deche, actually, we have our dear doctor, Dr. Nelly. She couldn't make it this evening, but hopefully she will be there with us. Very, very experienced, I think over 15 years, right? Yeah, so she will be there to help us deal with stress. And like William said, he's already put their contact information there. Would you like a session with them? Yes, they are ready to receive you. Dr. Ojwang, anything to add? Sorry, you're muted.
Today I'm mostly muted. No, nothing to add. I think it's Dr. I like the way Dr. Deche did it, answering the questions, and Dr. Jalang'o has emphasized the importance of this. And so we do this, we've been doing this since, all the seasons, because even the topic today, relationship with your food, emotional eating, which is next week, is related to stress, is related to mental health. And so it's good to assess. Maybe I share an experience. Many years ago, I went through, like stress. And I didn't know how bad that stress was until one day I collapsed and ended in a hospital. I lost my mom suddenly. I had a mortgage, which they were about to auction my office, and I was just here with the emotions. I didn't know what to deal with. Am I dealing with the death? Am I dealing with this? And one day I collapsed. I collapsed. In fact, let's say I came from burying my mom and I found auctioneer's letter on my desk, and I was just like going mad. So I collapsed, ended up in hospital. I was very sick and I had to go and see a psychologist. So the doctor then evaluated my stress levels and says, very high, my friend. If you don't do anything, what's coming next, I won't tell you. But now you've collapsed, you're in hospital. How did that happen? And I had collapsed. When they checked, my HB was at 6. My iron stores were depleted. So I was just gonna drop one day and literally die because I was not making blood, it was just dropping. And that was because of stress. When you're highly stressed, it uses up your iron stores. I didn't know that. And you can be anemic and you're stressed. And we are trying all the diet, but it is stress is a problem, okay? And over the years, I've actually come to know that when I sit down with a client, 3 sessions, and I know what the problem is, it's not always about your diet. Sometimes you find somebody's overeating, they can't control their emotions, they're just eating. They are stressed. They've not dealt with that stress. So the minute we identify it is stress, then we send them to the psychologist. When they have been taken through treatment, then they're fine. Then that eating is not a problem. They will lose weight. I don't need to put them on a weight loss. And even one of the reasons I went to do my PhD, I have 2 PhDs. Now I've said, the one I didn't graduate, but I finished all the work. It was PhD on health psychology. Because I never used to understand. Somebody comes to the office, they are educated, they know what to do. They are not taking care of their blood pressure. They are not taking care of their blood sugars. Their blood sugars are high. Everything is high. And they're just coming and they're doing nothing. They're not following your diet. They're not measuring. They're doing nothing. It is the same way it was high last week is the same way it is high this week. And it really used to boggle my mind. And so I went back to school. But it's just stress. I came to learn it's just stress. So evaluate your stress so you know where you are, and the psychologist will be here to talk about it, and you can also visit them. We work as a team. We cannot do this without them. And you're yet to meet now. As we go on now, you're going to meet the many others. You meet the psychologist, you meet the food care, podiatrist, you meet sexual health expert, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we're talking about relationship with food. I think today we over budgeted for the time. Already we're at 9. We've already done 1 hour. We are supposed to be just doing 1 hour, but now we go on to 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we were all dressed up to do fitness. You can see I've already lost my fitness things, Because fitness is so important, we can't do it now past 9:30. So I'm just going to ask you to please forgive us for over planning. And on Saturday morning, I'm going to make time so that we can do the fitness test. We can start at 8 o'clock for 1 hour, and we will do this fitness test in the morning. And we make it 8 o'clock because we have the people from South Africa. We have people from other countries. 9 o'clock is a bit late because I have an appointment at 9:30. So 8 a.m. gives people a big time. West Africans, it might be 6 a.m. It would be good. So please just forgive us and let's meet on Saturday for the fitness test. I know all of us are dressed for fitness, but you'll forgive me. So we will now go on to your relationship with food. So I'll just share my slides here. I need to do this. Okay, so we want to evaluate our relationship with food. How many of us can say, I am in a good relationship with food? How many can say I'm in a good relationship with food? Okay, let me give you a few tips before you type in, but I'd like you to type in on the chat, okay? So let's see, yeah? So when you think about food, what is the very first emotion that comes to mind? What is the first emotion that comes to mind? Is it joy? Is it happiness? Is it guilt? What emotion comes to mind? Yeah, Lydia, you can monitor the group for me. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, somebody says, not me, definitely. Says doesn't have a good relationship with food, yes. Atieno says joy. Hey guys, let's participate. Okay? Yeah, happiness. I have some friends, I always tease them. They see food, if you take a picture, if you show me a picture of one of my friends, I'll know there was food around there because they are so happy, Yeah. So we get happy, we get excitement, yes. All these are emotions that we show, okay? So yes, there is joy. Some people feel comfort. Some people feel guilty. Why? Yes, Awori said scared, celebration. Some people fear, or some people just simply nourishment. So Sir Catherine says tasty. Viola says love, okay? Happy and love. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see on what all those things mean. So the second question is, every one of us has a relationship with food, just as we have relationship with family. You agree we have relationship with family and friends, okay? And because of that, we also know that some relationships are healthy and others are not healthy. So the same way we have relationship with people, others are not healthy, others are complicated. Some are conflicting relationships, dependence relationship. You just depend on this person for your emotions, depend on this person for money, depend on this. Even we have such relationship with food. And so if you have poor relationship with people, then you can also have a poor relationship with food, okay? So the objectives for this session is really understanding your relationship with food, okay? Building a healthy relationship with food, improving your relationship with food, and finally transforming your relationship with food. Don't worry, it's not a long session, but as we go on, I would like you to actually prepare a piece of pen and paper because we have an evaluation where you're going to score yourself. Okay? So how do you describe food? I saw here, love, happy. So people say, I love steak. I'm never going to give it up. How can you tell me that I cannot eat meat at night? You're joking. I will not stop. Okay? I love it. I get that a lot. I love cookie. They make me so happy. This is what people say. Or I love my ice cream. I love my nuts. Yeah. People say, I have sinned because I ate that piece of cake. Oh, I feel so bad. Somebody posts ice cream, then they send a message, I'm feeling so bad. I'm like, but the other day I posted ice cream. I posted a small piece of chocolate. I was not feeling guilty. Why are you feeling guilty? It means there's a problem. So people say, I cheated on my diet. You know, first of all, we have not put you on a diet. We are just eating healthy and learning as we go. So there's nothing like diet. But people use these words, I cheated on my diet. You know, I feel terrible because I didn't stick to my diet. I ate chips the other day. You know, I ate ice cream the other day. So do you think this is the right description of food? Just tell me yes or no. After put all these things, do you think these are the right descriptions of food? Yeah? Is it the right description? No, no, no. I see 3 no's at a go. Yes, no. Yes, no, no. Yes, no. Very good. So we agree this is part of having a poor relationship with food because you're behaving as if food is somebody. It's not somebody. The relationship is not reversal. Food does not talk to you, you know. So you can't say we love, we feel guilty, we feel. We are helping you to learn to eat healthy. So you can't feel guilty. Why are you feeling guilty? You know, even we don't deny you to eat your cakes and to eat your ice cream. The question is always how much, you know. So you can, because the real situation is sometimes you want to enjoy a piece of cake, you want to enjoy some fried food. It's fine. It's how often do you do that? So we shouldn't be having all this. So this is not the way, okay, for describing yourself. I hate myself for overeating. I hate myself for, no, we can't do that, okay? So let's get to understand the meaning of relationship with food. So you have 2 people eating exactly the same slice of cake. One enjoys it, feels satisfied, and moves on with life. The other eats it, feels guilty, okay, and promises never to eat sugar again. Then later overeats because of that guilt. So what do you think is the problem here? Are you seeing the relationship? Who has a good relationship with food and who has a poor one? You have 2 people. One eats the cake, enjoys it, feels satisfied, and moves on with life. The other one eats it, feels guilty, promises never to eat, but then again, they go and eat it in plenty. So who has a good relationship? You can speak, people. We want to hear your voices. Yes. The first person has a good relationship, unlike the second person. Okay? Yes. Very good. So the difference here, the cake wasn't different. The cake was the same. The relationship is what was different. Okay? So the most important thing you eat isn't what's on your plate. It's what's happening in your mind. Okay? What's happening in your mind. You tell yourself things. So we know that food nourishes our body, but now our emotions, beliefs, habits, and environment determine what ends up on our plate. Okay? So And remember, one of the things we said at the beginning when we were doing lifestyle change, you have outcomes, okay? Then you have the second layer, which deals with your processes, changing your processes, like now shopping. Then we have the deep layer, which is mindset. And I like to use that today because our success story should change mindset. So we have to change our mindset. So for example, our emotions can drive us. Are you emotionally hungry or you're actually hungry? You have food on the plate. Are you emotionally hungry or you're physically hungry? Sometimes you eat because you're just eating. And then you're like, oh, then you add on to this, then you add. It's just emotions. And especially when you have people. So it means we want to think about our emotions as we eat, our beliefs. You see, some people believe I can eat anything and it's fine. You see, but you can't eat anything and it's fine. There are portions you need to eat. Your carbohydrates can't be too much, especially you're managing your diabetes. And it doesn't matter even if you're not managing any conditions. The minute you eat all that, you always start to increase you eat a lot of carbs, you start to increase what you call your insulin response index, meaning the body has to produce excess insulin to meet that. In time, you're type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetic, and then as we get older, the risk increases. So you can't eat what you want. What are your habits? Last week we watched the video on habits. I didn't see it on the group. If we didn't post it, Lydia, can you please post it? What are your habits? You know, habits become actions, and actions become your way of life, you know. And your environment. What is your food environment? What do you keep there? Because if you keep cookies, you keep sugars, you keep soda, that's what you're going to reach out for, you know. Most of the times, sometimes I go to families where there are children, you know. And so maybe the husband has called me to come, please talk to my family, you know. But then there's a fight. Oh, I always prepare healthy food. And you come home late and then you bring sodas and cookies and cakes. Because you're always late for work, so you want to please the children. So you bring cookies and cakes. You get. But they all want the family to eat healthy. So what do? Then you say, okay, on the weekend, we will take sodas. The children can go and eat their chips and cake and whatever. But during the week, we eat healthy. So you don't keep those things at home. So if you're trying to change your lifestyle, you have to change your environment because the environment is going to impact what is available to you. So tonight we want to explore how to build a healthier relationship with food so that even your emotions are not coming into play. So still describing a healthy relationship with food is not about perfection or being strict. You notice I'm not a diet police. We are not telling you, don't eat this, don't eat this, no, there's no food that's bad. It's the quantities. And as we go along, we're just trying to encourage you, improve this, change this, change this, change that. So there's no use feeling guilty because we are all a work in progress. All of us, you know. So strict diets never work. You know, if you're strict with yourself, it is not sustainable. So you can't eliminate proteins. You get, yeah? For example, yeah? So you can eat your favorite food. I intentionally put a piece of chocolate. I intentionally put my plate of ice cream, okay? Yesterday, I think we spent the whole afternoon eating cheese and wine with friends. So I need to post, I forgot to take, you get? It's how much and how often you do this. So no strictness. So it's about developing awareness, okay? Awareness. And this is what we do. We educate you so that you know. And this is why I would like you to apply, because when your plate looks like too much carbohydrates, no vegetables, you're taking something double carbohydrates, I'm wondering, you do not understand or you're applying. But the nutritionist, my assistant, is supposed to actually call the person and find out what's wrong. You know, so Nemali, Florence, okay, let's do some justice to our participants. Let's find out. Maybe they didn't understand, okay? Yeah. So we want to have awareness so that we can have balance, we can be flexible, and we can make food work for your health. rather than controlling your life. So right now, if you feel like food is controlling you, then there's a problem. That is stress that we should send to William, because it should not be controlling you. So then it means you have not understood. And so let's go back on the table and understand. If you're finding that you're not understanding portions, go back. If you're eating and feeling hungry, like the question that was there, go and do week 1. What did we talk about? Protein. Okay? If you're still having these toxic habits, go back to season 1, toxic habits. Okay? So now this is a good time to let you, so I'd like you to remove your pen and paper. We want to reflect on your motivations for eating and your behavior around food, and then identify the group you fall in. Yes. So this is evaluation. I have 12 questions. So each question is just 1 mark. So you're going to give yourself 1 mark if it describes you, 2 marks if it does not describe you. And please, would like you to write down the responses in the chat. Okay? Be very true to yourself. So here we go. All right. There are many kinds of emotional eaters. Some eat in response to negative emotion, while some eat in response to a positive emotion. So they are going to be very confusing, but I'm going to try and explain very well. Okay, let's go. Question number 1. You eat when you feel sad. You eat when you feel annoyed. You eat when you feel disappointed. You eat when you're angry. You eat when you feel lonely. And you eat when you're empty, when you're anxious, or when you're tired, or when you're bored. Okay? So this is really your eating because it's a response to stress. So you understand why we need you to evaluate stress? Because it affects your diet. So give yourself 1. Okay? Oh, no, sorry. I think I was reading number 2. Number 1 is you eat when you're stressed. When you have things to do, work, studies, exams, or any work, anything else. You reach out for food subconsciously, especially when you're up late at night by yourself. I think in the last 2 weeks, I've been doing this. So I need to score myself. You know, not subconsciously. I know I shouldn't eat, but I'm just there. Okay? I can promise it's mostly nuts. Okay, so number 2 is what I was reading. So please give yourself 1 or 0, depending on how it describes you. I think we want to move a little faster. You eat as a response to your emotions. And so this particular one is just negative emotions. So you eat when you feel sad, when you feel annoyed, when you feel disappointed, you feel angry, lonely, empty, anxious, tired, or bored. It's a reaction, subconsciously embedded. You don't even think about it. You just automatically reach out for your food whenever you experience these emotions. So please say 1, okay? Please give yourself a mark or 0. Number 3, you seek solace in food. When you feel down, you seek out comfort. You bury yourself in food, you know, whatever food you like. It can be ice cream, cake, chocolate, okay? Even though you know they're junk, you know, you can't explain, they just provide you with comfort. You feel, I feel better, you know. And sometimes people do this, it's everything repeatedly. So if you do this all the time, then we definitely need some help, okay? Number 4, you have trouble losing weight due to the way you eat. Even though you want to lose weight, you know the technicalities of losing weight, okay? You have trouble sticking to your plan or your diet or just following a healthy eating plan. You can't seem to stop yourself from eating as and when you want to, okay? So, and this is not just losing weight. Even you're not able to control your blood pressure. You're not able to control your blood sugar because you're just eating and you can't stop yourself from eating. You know exactly what to do. You know what you need to change, but you can't change it. Number 5, your eating is out of control. You can't stop yourself from eating. You eat even when you're not hungry. You continue to eat even when you should have stopped long time ago. You know, your desire to eat seems to have taken a life of its own. At times, you would even go out of the way just to get food, satisfy a particular craving, even though you may not be hungry at all. Number 6, you eat to feel happy. You're emotionally dependent on food. You rely on it for happiness. Okay? So you derive positive emotions from eating, even though it's nothing more than a neutral activity. Okay? This is different from appreciating food. This is about eating to just derive the feeling of happiness. Okay? Yep. Number 7, you eat when you feel happy. Remember, you eat to feel happy. But this one, you eat when you feel happy. This is also one of my problems. When I feel so happy, ooh, I'm going to get something to eat. It's because you feel celebrative, eh? But sometimes can get out of control. So you see, eating is necessary companion to happy emotions, just like how people eat to celebrate good news, you know. Number 8, you are fascinated with eating food. You love food, you love to eat. When you're not eating, you can't help thinking about food. You long and crave for food. When you're eating, it's like you're in Wonderland. Eating any food draw an intense level of interest from you. Okay? Yeah, because you know, food does not reciprocate. So you're just completely fascinated. It's food, 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 food. Number 9, you use emotionally charged words to describe food. Sinful, guilt, love, enticing, you know. Yep. Many people do that. You eat even though you are rightfully full. No matter how much you eat, no matter how full you are, you never feel quite satisfied. You just continue eating. Okay? Yeah. Number 11, you think of eating even though you are rightfully full. Just, it occupies your mind, you know. You've had your fill, you continue to think of food. You think about what you eat, the next meal, right after you finish eating. You are obsessed with food, okay? Last but not least, you have random food cravings out of the blue. You get urges to eat a certain food, which you can't explain yourself. You're not hungry, but you're like, oh, I feel like egg with dania. I feel like porridge with butter. I feel like this and that. I feel like this and... So now we are finished. Add your scores. So what do you get? What did you get? You can put in the chat. Okay? Yeah. Thank you, guys. Catherine wrote Y. I don't know what you wanted to write. Yes, 5, 3, 3, 3, 6. Thank you, Jane, Imali. Thank you all. Okay? Yeah. Okay, post it. So very good. So most of you, not too bad. Okay? So yeah, so we have different points. So if you group 1 is 0 to 2 points, okay? And group B is 3 to 5 points. And then we have group C, which is 6 to 8 points. And then we still have group 4, which is 9 to 12 points, okay? So what is your evaluation? And by the way, you can go back to your food and also check, okay? So this is the evaluation based on the group you fall under. So it means that you can get yourself here. Most people are falling here, group B, 3 to 5, which is very, very good, okay? And it doesn't matter where you are. We are all a work in progress, okay? So here, group 1, you have a very healthy relationship with food. You should be happy that you have a neutral stance towards eating because most people don't. Having such a healthy relationship with food is no doubt extremely helpful in maintaining a healthy lifestyle and adhering to weight loss or health goals. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Group B, you have an okay, somewhat average relationship with food, which can be improved much further. So while food doesn't cause you much anguish, it certainly doesn't serve your healthy living goals either. So you need to, it's a work in progress. Group C, you have an average to poor relationship with food, okay? So it's something you need to work on. And sometimes evaluating your stress actually helps, because why is it? Are you stressed? And next week we are doing emotional eating. So then we can all come together. So it's highly important that you look into it and address it if you want to commit yourself to healthy eating. Group D, you have an extremely unhealthy relationship with food. This would be a relationship I used to have, I personally, which often led to binging, hating, or not me. This is not me actually, but yeah, it can lead to binging and it can lead to, anorexic. It's very dangerous. So your very poor relationship with food is very likely due to compounded issues, attachment with food, falsified beliefs, which you need to take time to explore. So your stress levels, okay, must be what's happening with your work, what's happening with your relationships at home, what's going on. So this is really deep, all right? So now we know where your score is and what you need to do. So what you want to do is reflect on your relationship with food. Look at the group you fall under. What do you think about it? Do you think it's accurately depicts your relationship with food? Why or why not? And how so? So what does it mean to have an healthy relationship with food? When you feel guilty, when you emotionally eat, meaning you're eating because you're emotionally hungry, not you're physically hungry, you fear certain foods, you don't want to touch, even you go to a party or your spouse or friend have served you very nice food, you're like, I cannot eat that food. That is having a poor relationship with food. You can eat any food. It's how much and how often. So when you have fear over certain foods, we have a problem. Constantly dieting. The other day you're in 13-day diet, then poor relationship with food. And also feeling out of control around food. So you lose control completely. Or you're too guilty. You're feeling guilty to eat. So what does it mean to have a good relationship with food? You respect your body's needs. You trust the food, you can balance, you're flexible, and you enjoy it, okay? So we want to build this around our food. So you trust what you're eating a balance, you're not eating too much on anything, okay? You're flexible, you can eat. You go to visit people, you eat what is there, okay? Yeah. So challenge for the week, just think about your relationship with food, write it down. Find a friend in the group, okay? Find somebody in the group and talk to them. This group here have many people, but I think some people are not participating. They are just sitting there. So find somebody who is posting the food, who is also active. So reach out, especially if you are not doing well, please reach out. If you're doing well, reach out so that you can share how you're doing with other people. We also have champions, people who've done DTLC before. You know how this works. Reach out to somebody and hold their hand and talk. So when we come next week, this is what we are going to talk. So you can ask questions and seek more help. So thank you. Last but not least, if you want to get something you have never gotten before, you have got to do something you have never done before. So, yes. Okay, I'm done now. All right. So, I don't know. I'm looking for Lydia. Yes. So, do you have any questions or any comments? Okay, thank you for participating. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for posting on the group. It actually makes it it really helps us, okay? Yes. So what did you think about your relationship with food? Please, can you write a statement there? If you were to use one word or two words, what would it be? Thank you. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. We look forward to reading the one-word description of the whole session. I don't know if that can fit. If not,
Interesting.
we still
Awesome.
have
I
the
can see
group.
them. In the groups. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
still talk about it in the group. Yeah. Yeah. Due to
Mhm.
time, we'll now close this session. Thank you very much, Dr. Ojwang, for that presentation. For sure, food is more than fuel. It's connected to our emotions, it's connected to our habits, and even to our stress. So you want to develop a healthier relationship with food. We have our challenge, simply just try it. And as we come to the end of this session today, we want to thank our guests from Restore and Renew for joining us today, William and team. Thank you so much. Ms. Jalang'o will keep checking on those numbers. Dr. Alice Ojwang, the nutritionist, Nemali and Immaculate, thank you so much for guiding us through today's discussion. We continue to be mindful of our relationship with food. Before eating, we want to ask that question, why? We wish you a wonderful, healthy, active week ahead. Keep recording your numbers, your blood sugar, blood pressure readings. Continue practicing what we have learned today. So keep taking one step at a time toward your health goals. Have a wonderful week ahead. We'll see you again next Monday.